Alright guys, welcome to VALORANT News. Massive announcements yesterday coming to the VCT. pANcada confirmed to loud after all the speculation and rumours over the last several weeks. This is now a done deal and pANcada is there in time to get ready for the upcoming stage. One team, however, that is struggling is VALORANT again. Following Masters Shanghai, visa issues emerging. This time it's Aspas, stuck in China right now, unable to get out of the country and get back to the US to actually play due to visa complications again with South American players. What is going to be happening here going forwards? Is this the primary reason the Riot are looking to extend the season and push back next year's World Championship into October? Lots else to talk about as well. Very much on Twitter, your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. I've got to share just some of these moments here from Redux because, I mean, just have a look at this first clip, for example, with the new Neon. Gets one. I mean, what is this second kill? And then just continues going on an absolute rampage here towards the ends. I mean, this third kill is, okay, the third kill is fine. The fourth kill, have a look at this. I mean, the little slide dash away. Man, this game right now is kind of insane. And Zekken's been talking about it, and he's saying, guys, like, I've never been more overstimulated playing Valorant in my life. Like, this game is, you're just dashing around, jumping around. It's complete chaos, and both Neon and now ISO are really, really good. And as he says, in a good way though, these characters are fun to use. Now, maybe he's been sarcastic, but I don't know. I think he's probably being legit because he was obviously playing it last night and seemingly having a rather good time. I don't know what it actually means though for the competitive scene. Like, it may be a complete mess in some parts, but it's going to be interesting to watch, and it certainly seems to be fun to play at the moment. So more to say on that in a second. But firstly though, got to dive into some of the roster stuff that's been going down. RRQ were talking on how they got Monya into the roster. I thought this was a very well put together piece, but there's been big talks lately on what's happening in the South American side. Certainly because in League of Legends just the other day we saw the separation between the different conferences, the North Conference, the South Conference in the Americas, and questions on whether that could be happening as well in Valorant in due course, and what that would mean for Brazil. Like, let's say Brazil, South America, they got their own region, right? It was, let's say, based out of Sao Paulo, and they played the matches out of there, and then the North American side would then, it would become North America. They would play out of Los Angeles, rather than combining the regions. Honestly, when they first of all combined the Americas, I was kind of surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised. I think it was always obvious they were going to do it this way, because I guess they didn't want more regions, but I always thought that for the Americas to only have 10 teams across both North and South America, and obviously Latin America as well, was missing something there and was just a bit too restrictive as far as I was concerned. Now, of course, there's Europe, there's Asia Pacific, there's China, like there's lots of regions to manage, and maybe Valorant will separate the Americas, maybe they won't. But whatever the case is, VALORANT are in the league, and they confirm they've got a new head and assistant coach. They've made some serious changes over the last couple of months in the organisation, and Itapata and Juvenile, they're going to be joining. I think they had some history on TSM actually, these boys, so yeah, we'll see if that goes well. Their big problem, however, is Aspas, because as Aspas tweeted out yesterday, hello guys, since it was something that was not in my control, so I'm here to update you, I am still here in Shanghai because my visa is renewing and he is still not ready yet. Just to not make any problems or fake news, I'm having problems with the visa. When my visa is done, we can start practicing again. I want to come back soon because I miss my kittens. So, I mean, this is madness, right? It's not, I mean, look, it happens every event. It happened after Masters Madrid, that the Loud Boys, they went there and their visa was like not renewed. So they needed to get back to the US, and to do so, they had to go to Belfast, I'm pretty sure, in Northern Ireland, to go through the visa process, probably go to the US Embassy. They got it sorted. They were able to get back over there, but they were quite late. They lost a couple of weeks doing that, and by the time the Loud Boys were back there in the US, they played that first game against whoever it was, NRG or something, got absolutely crushed, and maybe that shouldn't be a surprise in hindsight. So these visa problems are hurting these players. Certainly Brazilian players, certainly just players from South America in general, seem to struggle with this a lot because there's some sort of like 3-month renewal thing, and the way that the season cycle goes is that often it aligns with the players go away for some time for an event. When they want to come back in, the visa needs renewing, and that takes some serious time to accomplish. So I think this is one of the main reasons why next year Leah Farrier has basically said the season is going to be spread out slightly more. Like, after one of these big international events, there may be like a month off with nothing at all, which I don't think is really good. Like, I do want the current format we have where there's a Masters event and the matches begin 2 weeks later is good. I don't want it any further delayed than that, because what else happens, right? Like a month off after a Masters event? Like, we need more Valorant, to be honest. But the issue is, maybe that's the only way to do it, because otherwise you're just screwing over badly a lot of the players that keep getting visa problems that take weeks to resolve. But even then, if you lose 2 weeks of practice because of a visa renewal issue, you're still at a mega disadvantage once you get back, right? And that's probably how it will continue to be. So something has to be done about this if we want to have a more sustainable scene, because as Sentinels say, the only thing that can beat Aspas is the US government, and they seem to be trying their best. I'm sure it'll all get sorted, right, as it has done now with pANcada. In due course, it's fine, but it's just affecting the players and the teams a lot in the shorter term, and this is one of the reasons why, if there isn't like a Brazilian scene, or if there isn't like an actual scene there in Sao Paulo, or whatever the case is, and they separate the Americas, I think over time, the teams that are South American or Brazilian franchises in the Americas League will just start to sign more and more American players, or just players not from their own country, just because it's causing so many problems. So I think it's a serious problem here that Riot need to look at and potentially solve, because so many visa problems this year. Lavia Ton at Play MIBR, the first match of Stage 2 on the 22nd of June. So, I think, to be honest, that's a reasonable gap in my mind from Masters Shanghai through here to the start of Stage 2. But the problem is that some of the players, is Aspas going to be back in time? Hopefully. I think he will be. Hopefully the visa gets sorted in the next couple of days, but they're still losing like a week or so of practice compared to everybody else. Maybe even more than that, as we have just seen. But confirmation yesterday arriving as to what's happening with Loud. They have been obviously speculating for some time who the new player is going to be, and it was officially confirmed. The Sentinels card is off, the Loud card is on, and as pANcada says, guess who's back? Finally home with a different mindset than when I left, but with the same goals. Putting my name aloud at the top of VALORANT once again. So, I mentioned this now for so many months, even before this was rumoured, that if I was pANcada riding the pine for Sentinels, I would be thinking, alright, let me just see how Loud get on, let me see how some of these other teams get on, and see where I want to go. We believe that the Furia offer was there, it was maybe very close to being done, but pANcada decided not to do so, the health issues, whatever. He obviously bode his time further, the Loud offer arrived, they got the deal done. The issue, of course, for pANcada was that he didn't have his visa again, so he couldn't actually get out there to the States. But I think Sadak said on stream the other day, this is now a done deal, and not only has pANcada signed the Loud contract again, returning to the team where he won the World Championship back in 2022, but also he's got the visa sorted, so he's going to be out there in the Americas, getting ready to go, and of course Loud are as well. There was big talks about Loud, obviously, right, because they were making roster changes, there was considerations that less might be gone because they've run out of money or whatever, but I don't know if pANcada said, hey, look, if you guys want to have me, you got to keep less, you got to keep Sadak, and we're going to run it up, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen. So yes, how good are Loud going to be now? pANcada's back. It's great to see as a storyline for the scene, because obviously pANcada did a solid job on Sentinels, but he had to play roles such as, onto the Sentinel, where he wasn't necessarily so comfortable, rather than the controller, and, in the end, it was decided that it was probably best to part ways. Zelsis brought a bit more to the team in terms of chemistry and leadership and all these other factors that pANcada couldn't maybe quite, and therefore they've made the move that they have done. pANcada went to the bench, Zelsis went full-time into the starting lineup, and of course the rest since then is history. Sentinels then said, look pANcada, it's obviously not worked out for you, we're going to allow you to go for free, no buyout involved, and of course he's decided, and Loud have decided, that that is the place to go. FNS seemingly kind of concerned about the prospect of that roster. However, maybe he needn't be, because rumours emerging yesterday from Boostio that actually NRG are pretty damn good. Boostio says this, NRG are winning split 2, good luck to everybody else. Now, this is what often happens when you find scrims going down, and there are scrims that are going rather well. Usually what the case might be is a team does well in scrims, that it's a relatively new team with a new roster, and the guys that are scrimming against them say, wow, those guys are dominant, they're going to win everything. 100T, we know they're a good team, but according to this, they might have got slapped around in practice over the last couple of days by FNS and SOM's new NRG, to such a degree that Boostio says, yeah, wow, those guys are winning split 2, have fun with that. Now, 100T are playing NRG in scrims because they don't play each other this stage. The way the bracket's going to work out, we'll have a look at that in a second. Here it goes, NRG are in Group Alpha, of course. It's Group Omega for 100T, so they're going to scrim cross-group. They're not going to practice, like NRG aren't going to practice against Sentinels right now, because they play them in a very important game very soon, but they are going to practice against 100T and others. So these are the scrim sets these teams will have. 100T versus NRG will probably continue to practice slightly more often, and as NRG say, vacation's over, Sentinels have got a game soon. Unfortunately, they're all middle seat, so looking to send them straight to Cancun. We'll see if that actually works out. Just to quickly mention the update here then on the challenger side, Oxygen are 2-0. There's been a couple of games happen over the last couple of days. So TTR took down YFP, Blin took down SAD. So that leaves us like this, but it's incredible how competitive it is this year, right? Because YFP going down as they did, Turtle Tuber 3-0 with a 6-2 map count, but their round differential is only +4. Like, they have won some incredibly close games and lost some rather emphatic ones when they have lost the maps. But it actually doesn't really matter because they're still 3-0. So it's super competitive right now in challenges. I really have no idea who is going to win Ascension this season. And just one final thing here from Riot themselves on Haven. So Haven is back in the pool for the second week, replacing Breeze. Abyss, however, will only be eligible to be played from the playoffs. So they want to give the teams a bit more time to practice it, which I guess maybe is fair enough. So yeah, brand new map. It becomes available for 4 weeks after it's been live, but until then, Abyss will not be played until the playoffs. So I always think that's quite a big transition, right? When you've got everything going on and then you actually only allow the new map to be played in playoffs, definitely switches things up quite substantially by the time we get there. But very much on Twitter your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
That's out.
Gonna land in like 2 seconds. It's landing on you though.
Yep.
Spike down A.
I have a main, I have an op.
One enemy remaining.
What just happened?
Wait, how